Okay, so I'm going to just start creating a document in InDesign. And one of the first things that I want to point out is I have a few elements already gathered here in this folder. I just have 2 files right now, but if I want to continue adding different images or photographs to my document in InDesign, I'm going to continue to put them into this folder. The thing about InDesign is that it links to files outside of the program. That way it doesn't have to contain so much information within the program itself, especially if you're working on a lengthier book project. So that's something to get started even before you open up InDesign, is to make sure that you have different elements put together and that they stay in one place in a folder on your desktop. So I'm going to then come here to File and start a new document. For this project, I'm just going to create 1 page. If you wanted to create a certain number of pages, you could put them here. Facing pages means that they are laid out in a book format. So if you had 10 pages, it would give you a cover page, and then 9 pages that sit together in groups of 2 to create a spread. I'm looking here at the page size. This is a letter, which is a typical 8.5 by 11 inches standard printer size paper. So you can come here and change it to tabloid for 11 by 17, or you could do custom and see if there's other sizes. You could also put in the points, the point size that you want. So I'm fine with a letter, so I'm just going to stick with that and say okay. And then that should start to create my document. So I will, first what I'll do on my document is I want to create the space that my images will go in. So I'm going to create a box for the image. And actually, I'm just going to start personally by creating a solid color box. And this is where I would fill it with a specific color. There's other color options, but I'm just going to go with green for this so that I can fill up my page. And then I know that I want to put in 2 other images. So this is my direct selection tool. This is the box that I'll create to put my image into. So this tells InDesign that I want to put an image here, and that image will not exist outside of these parameters, even if the image itself is larger. And actually, I'm going to change my fill square so that's a little bit easier to see. Okay, so now we can kind of see. I have some guidelines already set up, but I can add other guides as well. So if I want to divide my image into thirds, this kind of gives me a basic guide to follow. Okay, so I will select this box again, and then I'm going to just drag my image into that box. So you can see that part of it is being cut off. That's because my image is a little bit larger than the box size. Right now, with the particular arrow I have selected, it will change the box size. But if I want to actually change the image size, then I'll come here to this filled in arrow, and that will select the image. So depending on what year your software is from, you may or may not need to press shift. So I'm going to press shift as I bring my image down to the size that will fit into the box. Come and bring this up. Again, still pressing shift. Okay, and maybe I want to make this a little bit larger. Okay. Another thing about InDesign is that it doesn't always display the image at the highest quality. It's trying to make sure that the software can move quickly. So it doesn't usually show your images at the highest quality display, but that doesn't mean that your image is bad or has lost information. But you could come here and right click on display performance and then choose high quality display, and that should clear it up. So my image is much less pixelated now. I'm going to add in a second image. I'm going to create my image box here, and I'll probably go in and adjust my boxes as well once I'm finished inputting my other elements. So again, I'm going to come here to the filled in arrow and select the image, not just the bounding box. I'm going to press shift and bring it into the image, the size that I want, and bring it down. Okay. So here I have my quote-unquote title. This is just a filler title. Okay, so I'm going to adjust my bounding boxes just so that they're not overlapping, because I like to be a little bit more organized. Let's see, here we go. Okay, so now I can see where my boxes are and how everything's laid out. Now that I have my images input into the document, I want to add some text. So I'm going to click here on the type button, and I'm just going to start creating a box that can be any size that I want. And I can go here to find the particular font that I want. Because this is not the main title but a subtitle, I'll probably choose something a little bit more on the simple side, but also I want it to fit the style. So I'll do something like Garamond, which is kind of a classy, more traditional style font. And I'll give it a quick title. And then I will highlight it. I already have my type box up here, but if you need to find it, you can either click view or come to the window and choose any of the different effects that you want to see. So I want this to be larger, so I'll come here. That's a little too large. And then I can also play with the leading and bring them up a little bit closer to each other. I also want to change this from regular to bold. And I can also come here to change the color. So choose one of these colors that's already here for us. We'll go back with our green. So I'll bring this here. So this line here is just kind of a guide. It's a bleed line, which you can also choose how large your bleed line is when you're setting up your document, but I'll just leave it here for now. Okay. Then I want to add even more of a subtitle. So I'm going to create a new box. Okay, we have our incredible title now. Come here, and this time I want to choose a sans serif. Okay. And actually I'm going to take this period off. And I'll go with that same green color. So I can continue adding more type to my pages needed. So this is a very basic typesetting InDesign tutorial just on how to compile your elements together. So with InDesign, what you'll do is you can save your document. So this will just save as an InDesign file, but if I want to actually export it as a PDF, then I would come here to export, format, save as an Adobe PDF file, and then I just want to make sure that I know where it's going, so I'm going to put it to my desktop instead of the documents. And again, I can come here and I can save it. If I have multiple pages set up in a book format, I can choose if I want them to be saved as single pages or as a spread. I can choose if I want it to pop up to view it after exporting. So there's a few different options here. I'm going to save this as high quality, 300 DPI. Yeah, so this looks good to me. And I'm going to say okay. And this is just a reminder that there is a difference between CMYK and RGB, but that's not an issue because I'm not printing this today. Okay, and so here is my preview of the file that I just put together so that I can see that. So that is our tutorial today.